Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We are into our last topic in Unit 4. Um, Today, what we're looking at is an extension of the idea of equilibrium and disequilibrium, and that is price controls. So, we'll explain what price controls are. We'll explain the inefficiencies that price controls create, and we'll look at examples of both so you can see what you'll be asked about on your formative and summative. So, let's take a look. So we learned from last PowerPoint, so our last slide showing the topic at the beginning, that markets will move toward equilibrium on their own. So if there's no outside influence, no shifts, you're going to get to equilibrium eventually. And we know that if there's a shortage, below equilibrium, and everything else remaining constant, buyers will basically bid the price up to get a hold of that thing for which there's a shortage at that price below equilibrium, and producers start to produce more just because of that increase in price. And with the surplus, and again, that occurs when there's a price above equilibrium, um, producers, suppliers, they'll start to cut prices as they see that they have more goods at that higher price in equilibrium than they keep. So they'll start cutting prices, and that will cause an increased amount of buyers to come in. And so we'll eventually get to equilibrium. Okay? But there are times that there are price controls set, and that's because some level of government, local, state, national, any level, um, decides that whatever equilibrium is either too high or too low. And so they step in and implement price control. So those are just price controls. These are legal limits on price for certain goods. So it sets either a bottom or a top that a price can be. It will no longer allow prices to get to equilibrium. Okay. Now, with price controls, there's two types. You can see on there price ceilings and price floors. Okay. The key thing here that students struggle with is that students get confused because the names, what students want to do is they look at the names and they think, okay, if I go to this on a graph, it says price ceiling. Price or ceilings are always above, right? And so price ceiling is set above equilibrium. Makes sense, but it is not correct. You have to think function over location. So think of the function of any ceiling. The function of any ceiling is essentially to stop us from going any higher, or to seeing any higher. That is what a ceiling's job is, its function. And that's the same with a price ceiling. A price ceiling is designed to stop the price from rising. So a price ceiling is going to be set below equilibrium, the equilibrium price. Okay. Price ceiling function, not location. Price ceilings stop. Its function is to stop the price from rising to equilibrium. So it's always set below equilibrium. Price floors, again, function over location. Price floors, its location is below us. So we have a tendency to think, oh, price floors must be set below equilibrium. Its function. Floors are designed to keep us from going lower. Okay. That's what floors do. That's their function. It's the same with price floors. Price floors are designed to stop the price from dropping to equilibrium. And so price floors are set above equal. Either way, whatever price control is set, in whatever scenario you're given, markets cannot get to equilibrium. Price ceiling is set, market prices can't rise to equilibrium. If price floor is set, the market price can't drop. And so inefficiencies are created. You have a surplus or a shortage. Okay. So what we're going to do here for the last handful of slides is take a look at examples and look at the efficiency that's created and a little review from last topic as to make sure that we properly identify the the amount of the inefficiency. So price floor, your next two slides. Remember that the price floor is always set above equilibrium. So what I've done is I have put in the most common example, which is a wage. Okay. Now, when one of the arguments against minimum wages is that you put in a minimum wage above the equilibrium wage for low skilled workers, you're going to create a situation where there's more workers willing to supply their labor at that high wage, artificially higher wage, then you have uh, businesses that want to hire them at that. So the quantity and demand can be less price, like price above equilibrium, which is surplus. Quantity supply would be greater than quantity demand. Supplied in this market, which is the market for labor, is the suppliers are the workers supplying their labor, commanders are the businesses who will hire workers. Okay, so like I said, example wage, you can see what happens here. If our equilibrium wage for low skilled work is $10, for example, our equilibrium price, that's $10 price for labor. Our equilibrium quantity is 1,200 workers. This point in your equilibrium equals quantity demanded. If it is decided for other reasons besides simply keeping the market by some level of government that $10 an hour is too low, and wage is going to be set at $12. Well, now you can see what happens. Okay, you're going to have if I draw $12 over to the demand straight right to this point and straight down, you're going to have 700 businesses or 700 positions open that businesses are willing to fill at $12. If you go back to that price of 12, you go all the way over to the quantity supply or the supply and hit the specific market, okay, at $12. Now, the suppliers of labor are the workers. You're going to have 1,600 workers that are willing to take a job at $12, which is greater than who is willing to take a job at $10. You're going to create a surplus. So now, using that same graph here, it's a matter of recognizing, and we'll be asked this, how much of the surplus exists. Remember that we are focusing on $12 as the minimum wage, not the equilibrium wage of 10. Okay. So we only focus on the quantity demanded and quantity supply, $12, the price floor price. Okay. As I showed you in the last slide, at $12, the quantity demanded is 700, quantity supplied is 1,600. And as just like last topic, finding surpluses, you subtract the quantity demanded, that's the lower number, at the higher than the artificially high price, $12 in this case. Subtract that from greater number, which is quantity supply, at $12 or whatever price for price it is. So if we do the math on that, 1,600 minus 700 is 900 laborers. That is our surplus. Okay, so basically, you're going to have 900 laborers that will be willing to work at $12 that won't get jobs. So that's one argument against minimum wage is that well, if you artificially raise the price of labor above the equilibrium wage, you're going to end up having unemployment, people unemployed. That's the argument. I'm not saying it's the correct one. I'm just it's a correct argument. I'm just saying that that's the argument. That's price. All right. And so finally, our last two slides are going to focus on price ceilings. Okay. So the best example of price ceiling is rent. So that's the max price that a person charge rent in different cities. It all kind of depends on the economy what that price will be. Okay, but we're going to use the example that you see here. So rent rent control is a price ceiling. Remember, price ceilings are always set below equilibrium because its job is to stop the price. Price ceiling's job is to stop the price from rising market price to equilibrium. Okay. So anytime that you have a situation where you have a price control below equilibrium, a price ceiling, you are going to have quantity demanded greater than quantity supplied, and that's create a shortage, just like we did with shortage, just like we looked at last topic at the beginning of topic 3. So in this case, if you read the slide, what we have is an equilibrium price of $600 per month rent. At $600, our equal quantity is 23 apartments. For some reason, some level of government in this scenario has decided that $600 a month is too expensive. And so it is decided that $420 a month will be the maximum price that can be charged for someone renting in this area. Okay. Well, at $420, because we're below equilibrium, we're going to have a shortage. Okay, because if I go from 420, the price ceiling price, and I go till I hit the supply curve here, go straight down, I got 15 apartments available. That's the quantity supply. If I go back to 420 and go all the way until I hit the demand curve and go straight down, this is my quantity demanded at $420, which is 34. Okay. So we have more quantity demanded than quantity supply. That's the surplus. Now, just like the last slide, you're going to be asked to be able to identify the amount of the surplus, or in this case, the shortage. Okay. So, again, once you're asked to find efficiency, don't worry about equilibrium because we're not there. We're at $420. So equilibrium right now doesn't exist for us in finding the amount of the shortage. So you take the quantity supplied, and we said 15 right here, and subtract that from quantity demanded, the higher price in this case, whenever there's a price ceiling, quantity demanded is greater than quantity supplied, and that's 34. Okay. And so we have 34 quantity demanded. You subtract the quantity supplied at that price. So that's the amount of apartments available quickly. And so what you have left over, there are 19 apartments that people want at $420 that are available. They're not around. There's producers of suppliers of apartments don't have the incentive to continue to supply any more than 15 apartments at the price of $420. Okay, so there'll be a shortage, and that's what we see around the country with rent control. Is more people want space than is available. Okay, so that's everything for this topic. Like I said, a bit of review of surplus and shortage, but again, I'll leave you with this thought: you're gonna really just take some time to visualize and understand the function of price ceilings and price floors versus their location on a graph. Ceilings are always set below equilibrium, as you see on the screen here, because the job is to stop the price from rising to equilibrium. Price floors, previously shown, are always set above equilibrium because of their function location. Their function is to stop the price from dropping to equilibrium. Okay? That's really important. Once you get that straight, everything else really should pretty quickly. All right, that's everything here. Next time, we're heading off to Unit 5, macroeconomics, and looking at ways to measure the health of the economy. And until then,